nifty, because we are talking about flowers. So we've yet to find out who this Maria is who emailed me, because my two guests don't know anything about it. But she said, I have a florist friend who has a unit at Covent Garden who mentioned that some women have set up flower angels, and they actually collect flowers from florists and they give them to the florists give them unwanted arrangements, and then they take them to people who will continue to enjoy them. Let me introduce, first of all, the founder of Floral Angels, Julie Ritter, one of the founders, should I say. Yes. Sorry, I made a bit of a mess of your introduction.
I'm Julie Ritter.
Julie Ritter.
Shall I tell you the names of the other two?
Oh, yes, go on.
Yeah, I have to, because I wouldn't be here without them. Amanda Romaine and Frances Hunter. And I brought with me today Antonella Corby, who's our oldest, longest-standing volunteer.
And you've come in lavender aprons. I love these aprons.
Like them.
It's a shame it's not TV.
I know, but you don't worry. We're going to take a photograph, so this will go up on iPlayer.
Oh, no.
You are true angels. They've also brought in for me, and I'm really, really chuffed about this, the most beautiful recycled flowers, which also include a blue hydrangea. I love blue flowers more than any, but these are all English country flowers. They're just beautiful. And they've come from... And there's ivy on it as well. This is a massive display. Can I ask the history of this display?
Good. Yes. Well, they came into put me on the spot. They came into the market actually. What day? Which day? On Friday.
Right.
So they came from, I think, from Simon Lysett. Actually, he delivered on Friday.
The wonderful
Simon, who's often on this programme.
Yes.
And so they came on Friday. They were left over, but they had very few flowers left over. We made, I think, arrangements for about over 50 people on Friday.
Wow.
Actually, in total, we've delivered over 2,500 arrangements since our inception. And so that I went in this morning and I just quickly put that together because I kept some left over for you. And there you go. With great pleasure.
I'm so chuffed. By the way, Simon Lysett sent me an email from Monaco, so he's obviously doing a massive royal display over there, isn't he, at the moment?
It's a bit far to send the flowers to us.
It's a bit far to see. Yes, I'm sure he would otherwise.
Yes.
Can you just, before I talk to you, Antonella, because you're one of the volunteers, but can I ask Julie, how does this work? Because I know people are contributing, but you need petrol, you need to get them from A to B.
Yes.
How does it work, and where are you based?
We're based at the New Covent Garden Market in Vauxhall. We do have a few costs. You're talking about costs, I presume. We have a little van now. People have given us things. People have given us a van. Pollen Crew, who are this event logistics company, who go in after all the events, and usually and sadly the flowers would be taken to landfill. Now we've come on this.
Me? Really?
Yeah, well, where do they all go?
Yes.
They have to turn the rooms over, and the next lot come in.
And also, forgive me for butting in, but if you go to like Grosvenor House or the Dorchester, the arrangements are so massive. You can't take them home on the tube,
pedestals.
Can you? So they go into landfill.
They were before we came along. Right. They would go off to landfill, and now. Thanks to our partnership with Pollen Crew, they come to us, or florists bring them themselves, or we've even had brides walk them in, which is really lovely. It's very touching,
isn't it? So brides, obviously, they probably give their bouquets to somebody, but I was at the most amazing wedding. It was a Greek wedding on Saturday in Camberwell, the Orthodox Greek church down there, and you see, I talked to Simon Lysett about this, the trend. So you get these big pom-pom effect of flowers now, which is, and they were on every table. They were on every bit of the stairs. They were all over the church. And I thought, who on earth takes these home? Because the bride was off to Goa, and the people had come from all over the country. They wouldn't have so they hopefully would have gone to the likes of you.
Yes, they do. And then we restyle them depending on what we get. If we get long-stemmed flowers, which we often do if they're the pedestals and they're large centre table pieces, we'll get long-stem flowers. We'll make into bouquets, hand-tied bouquets, such as yours. If not, if they're slightly shorter, we'll make them into
bouquet.
That's a hand-tied bouquet.
Oh my goodness, Elisa, look at this. Never too old to be the bride, Elisa. Look. Oh, wow. I didn't know it was a bouquet.
Yes.
I can practice going up and down the corridor with that. Have you ever, Julie, helped a bride? Would you ever have a bride?
Yes, we have actually given, and that's one of my highlights of this year was to do a bouquet for a bride at Trinity Hospice. The groom has sadly now passed away, but it was one of the highlights of my year, and I think all the volunteers that day, was to do the flowers. It was very late notice. Could we do the flowers tomorrow for this bride in Trinity?
Goodness.
So I did the bouquet. I had that honour, and everyone else did arrangements to go on the tables, and then we delivered the flowers. We couldn't take photos, obviously, for obvious reasons, but that was amazing, and to be able to do that, it was something which is, and we do. That was the only bride we've done, because we're not actually in competition with the floral industry,
the
floral industry at all. That we wouldn't ever commercially produce flower, then sell the flowers on or do anything. But that was lovely. But brides come; they actually come and deliver because they're passing on the joy.
Yes,
they've had a lovely day.
Oh, I think it's wonderful.
They come in and then we send them off to a care home or Hestia Women's Refuge or any one of the hospices around London.
So, Julie, tell me, since you've been a volunteer in your lavender apron, Antonella. I'm so sorry, Julie. Antonella,
yes.
Tell me, where have you delivered them and some of the best days you've had?
Well, all my deliveries are really lovely. I generally deliver to hospices and care homes. Both are very different. I mean, Friday I did Sunrise, and that was with Simon Lycett's flowers, and I just love the residents there because it causes such a stir because it's something new.
Yes.
And they thought there was a wedding going on because I had boxes and boxes of these beautiful flowers. And this old lady, she was so cute. She was like, I've never seen so many flowers. So,
and what do you do? Dress the living rooms or their own rooms, or what do you do?
Well,
where do you put them on?
I went up to the dementia ward, but you have to be escorted, and it depends, if you're allowed to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And the staff also, they're lovely. It just is, the atmosphere changes once I walk in, and it just makes people happy.
Makes people happy. I mean, Simon, we keep mentioning Simon. I mean, obviously this is probably the same with all florists, but I remember he said when he walks down the street, and it's the same with anyone, if you walk down the street with a bouquet of flowers, everyone coming towards you smiles. There's just something about flowers and the human spirit that makes it rise. Would you agree, Julie?
Absolutely. And being in the UK, we love to celebrate with flowers, don't we? We can't do anything without putting flowers on the table. But we've had some lovely testimonials. For Mother's Day, we sent a bouquet for all of the mothers in the Italian wing at Great Ormond Street Hospital, and we had a lovely tweet back from a mum who said, "Me and Theo being here 6 months, your flowers made me cry." And we get constant testimonials like that all the time, and that just keeps us going.
I love you girls, and I'm also, because you brought in not only these amazing flowers, but you actually recycle the pots that you put them in. So do you also deliver these with the flowers?
Yes,
because that's the other thing. If often someone will give you flowers, you think, I've got absolutely nothing to put these in. So just explain these, because these are fantastic. It's so simple, just Hessian on different jars.
We ask our volunteers
we collect them through the year, don't we?
Yeah, bring in jam jars and tins, and the big catering size tins are fantastic because you can get a big bouquet in them. Because very often we'll arrive at a care home, but they've got to run around and look for, we've got 60 little posies to go on the bedside tables. They've got to run around and find vases. But if we arrive with them already in the jars, already in the tins,
how lovely! They don't have to do all of that.
They don't have to do that, and then we go back a few weeks later and pick them up.
Oh, is that? Oh, I see. Yes.
So they recycle all the time.
You can recycle them.
They keep coming back to us.
Put the headphones on, because we're going to speak to somebody who has benefited from the Floral Angels. And this is Marie Claire. Before I say hello to Marie Claire, would you like one of you, Julie or Antonella, to tell me exactly who she is?
Well, Marie Claire is a resident at the Laurels Care Home in Clapham. She has, unfortunately, multiple sclerosis. She's been there quite a while. She's in a wheelchair. Every time we go there, her eyes light up. She just loves flowers. She always sits next to Alfred, and love Alfred. Her and Alfred are inseparable.
She puts flowers in her hair.
Yes,
wonderful.
And I did a workshop with them last, because we're starting to do a few outreach workshops, and I did one with them and her in July in the garden, and she absolutely adored it. Flowers just make her day. I was there this morning. I said, "Will you do me a favour? Will you come on the show?" She said, "With pleasure."
And here she is. Mary Claire, hello.
Hello, Mary Claire.
Hello, good afternoon again.
Now, have you got flowers in your hair this afternoon?
Well, no, not really. I left it at the desk, but in my heart.
In your heart, you
it's
certainly
in my
have.
heart, and I can see it.
Now, Marie-Claire, tell me, because our listeners know nothing about these floral angels until today, tell me what it's like when they arrive.
Oh, my God, it's so wonderful. It's so gracious. It's so de bonheur, and it's really, really lovely.
De bonheur, I love it. Tell me about...
Lovely.
I'm also very interested in Alfred, actually. Marie, tell us about him.
Alfred is a person who does gardening.
Yes.
And Alfred's been my best of friend.
Yes.
And the Laurel has been my sincere friend and my inspiration.
And does he sit next to you?
Yes, he does all the time, even at lunchtime.
Oh, does he?
In the time. And if he's late to come, I'll always have something prepared for him. So really, really is my angel.
These girls are giggling.
We're laughing at you, Mary.
Yes.
We love to see you together.
They love you.
We love to see you together. So, Marie Claire, when I come with the flowers, what do you always say to me? You always say something.
Merci beaucoup.
Because you come from Mauritius, don't you, originally?
Oh, that's de bonheur.
Thank you.
Yeah, the de bonheur. Yeah, she's great. Fantastic.
So you come from Mauritius, so obviously flowers are very important to you then.
Yes, my God, it is as well. It really is. It's like the rose is like the centre of attention. When the rose gets delivered, oh my God, it's so great, so lovely. And I love roses, I love flowers.
What did you deliver some this morning, Julie?
I took a rose to Mary Claire this morning because I wanted to bribe her to coming on the show.
A single rose, how beautiful is that?
Well, I speak a little bit of French, so we spoke French together, didn't we, this morning?
Oh oui, we did, oui, très joli, très bien.
Oui, c'était très gentil.
Oh, très gentil, oui, très gentil, oui.
And she gives lots of hugs, so that was great. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much. À tout à l'heure.
C'est bien, à tout à l'heure.
That's Italian.
À bientôt, merci beaucoup.
How wonderful. I mean, so let's look at the logistics of this then. So you operate on goodwill, basically, all of you. And I can see how, I mean, it's, gosh, what a joy just to deliver flowers to people that need them. How do people, well, after this, I'm sure you're going to be inundated with people. So you have to choose. You can't deliver them to every single person.
We have a van now, and this leads me on to why I really want to be on here, because we need volunteer drivers.
Right.
We have a van. Be careful what you wish for. We always wanted a van, and we've got the van, and it's like, we have to drive it.
And does this have Floral Angels on the side?
Yes,
so
it's a big silver floral wagon. It's fantastic.
There you are. You know it's a charity. Go on.
It's a non-profit charity, 100% volunteer run, so we need volunteer drivers. And I was wondering if there'd be a few retired gentlemen out there in the Battersea, Vauxhall, Clapham area. That's where we...
Of course, because they need to get to Nine Elms.
Yes, who would be willing to come and work with us for a few hours a week. That would be amazing.
And imagine, that would be like Father Christmas or an AA man. Wherever you go, people are going to be smiling and really pleased that you've turned up. So anyone that's interested, the best thing
over
is...
26 years of age.
Over 26 years of age, to contact you. Is that the best?
Yeah, they can contact Floral Angels, either through the website, floralangels.com, or send us an email, contact@floralangels.com, or can I give the telephone number?
You certainly can.
07506 964 575.
And my producer's got that written down. So if you miss that, you can call Elisa and she will give it to you. But I'll just give you the email one more time. It's contact@floralangels.com, or ring our switchboard 020 722 42,000. They will give you the contacts. Can I just ask you then, Antonella, where are your favourite places to go since you've been a volunteer?
What, the actual places or...?
Yes. I know, obviously, Marie Claire is one of your favourites.
An actual name of a place.
Yes, just maybe the homes you go to, or
Did you come with us to Chelsea Pensioners? That's
did you do Chelsea Pensioners?
Oh yeah, we have Charlie there. We have Charlie. We have lots of nice men. Charlie was an ex-soldier, obviously, and an ex-florist, and so he's still in his 90s, and he loves. You go into his room; it's full of oasis and flowers. So we have Charlie's bucket. Whenever we take arrangements there, we always take a bucket for Charlie. And,
Elisa, we have to go and record Charlie, don't we? We must go and record him. So he's a 90-year-old ex-florist Chelsea pensioner with Charlie's bucket that's filled by you lot.
Yes. So that he can play around with the flowers. He loves those. There are lots of other places we go to.
I quite like going to Michael Sobel, which is a hospice. I've known lots of people that have spent their end of life there. Actually, my mother-in-law used to volunteer there, so I've got a bit of history there. And when I first started to deliver, I felt quite awkward because I thought, do they want to see me in a hospice? But actually, they do.
Of course they do, because you're delivering life.
Yes.
Flowers are life, aren't they?
And you know, it's wonderful, you know, and I can. It's nice to talk to people. The next stage, I think, would be nice to actually spend more time because we just deliver and we don't spend too much time, and people want to talk to you. So we'd like to get that next step.
Have more time to sit and talk as well. That's an issue, I suppose, isn't it, Julie? Because you've got to just keep moving. You've got the other thing. Well,
if we have drivers, you see, then we can. We can't be in two places at once. We can't do the flowers and drive the vans.
How many people do you have, volunteers?
We have a lot of volunteers. We have about 30 on our list. We have a rota come in about 8 or 10 volunteers come in each session.
Right.
Plenty of volunteers out there who have floristry experience, who are happy to give us a few hours a week. Plenty of flowers. So our next step is the logistics of getting them out and wanting to impact more than just 2,000 people, maybe impacting 4,000 or 5,000 people next year. So get the drivers coming back. And going with volunteers. We always send a volunteer with the driver because we don't just dump and run.
Right.
We want to deliver the flowers, make sure they're going to the right people, say a few words, and then occasionally we'll stay much longer and build up a relationship with them.
I had no idea until this listener emailed us that you existed, and what a fantastic charity. And looking at these flowers here, I will get a week at least out of these, probably longer, because you just you take out the ones that are dying, don't you? And I'm sure in those there's lots of lovely foliage, so I'll get loads of days out of that. After this, you're probably going to be inundated by people asking for your services. How do you prioritise? Because you can't cover the whole of London, can you?
No, there are charities we work alongside some small charities that, if they have a little bit of money, will actually come to the market and pick up the flowers, and that helps us enormously, such as Magic Me's Cocktails for the Elderly. They have a lovely little programme where they put on cocktail parties for elderly people in elderly homes, and we animate the rooms and do little corsages for the ladies and buttonholes for the men and make the whole evening special for them with flowers. But they're in North London, we're in South. For us to get there would take half a day would take a long time, so they actually come. If you are willing to come to the market and pick up in your van or send a driver, then it'd be much easier for you to get flowers from us.
We
do that does help us enormously.
There we go. Right, one more time then. If you want to volunteer as a driver, and that's what they're looking for, you need to be over the age of 26. Did you say?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the contact is at floralangels.com, and the phone number one more time, Julie.
07506 964 575. We pay in hugs and cups of teas
and biscuits.
and hopefully they get an apron. I love your aprons.
Yeah, they'll get an apron. Oh, definitely not.
And do you still want contributions of jars? And
yes, absolutely.
And also we do actually have some costs, as I'm on the radio, if you don't mind. We do have a donation button on our website just to pay our sundries. So if every little counts, £5 will pay for about 3 or 4 bouquets. So if anyone feels generous, that would be fantastic.
I think you're fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
After the news, we're going to ask, when did you last receive or give a bunch of flowers, and to what effect? That's after the news. The number is 020 722 42,000. Julie Ritter and Antonella Corby, thank you so much. And that has made my day. That is an amazing bouquet that I have here. I can play at being a bride. Right, so the news is coming up next, then over to you. If you want to email, if you can't get to a phone, it's joanne.good@bbc.co.uk. It's 4:30. Here is the news.
Thank you, Joe. The Chancellor has told the last Conservative Party